Hi guys, and welcome to Escape Wheel Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be looking at the Cadisen model C8244. I received this watch for free. I don't have to send the watch back, but you guys know the deal by now. No matter how I get a watch in for a review on this channel, you're always going to get my honest opinion every single time. Nothing is scripted other than this little intro bit. I just kind of tell you what I think about the watch as I'm looking at it through the camera and after a few days of wear. If by the end of this review you want to pick one of these up, I'll be leaving a link down in the video description. It is going to be an affiliate link, so if you use that link, you're not paying any extra. It just earns the channel a little bit of commission. It's an easy way for you guys to help support the channel and help keep things running on this end. So I really do appreciate the continued support. So at the time of recording, I am seeing this watch for $137 US. That does include the tariffs, so check the link in the description for the final price for your location. The watch comes in 3 different colorways that you can see on screen now. I think they all look pretty darn good. The watch case is made of 316L stainless steel. It has a mineral crystal with anti-reflective coating, a screw-down crown, screw-down case back, 100 meters of claimed water resistance, and the watch is powered by the Miyota 8215 automatic movement. So I'm going to come out and say it. This is an homage to the Spinnaker Bradner, which is a very nice watch by a respected micro brand. That watch retails for about $280, but I have seen them down close to $200. This one does differ in some areas, though, which we will touch on throughout this review. So I say we get right into it. But before we do, doing a quick wrist check today. Wearing the Bracelet Rec Spec Titanium. A review for this one should be coming up very soon. Alright, so let's talk about the dimensions. Got a case diameter of 40 millimeters, case thickness of 12.8 millimeters, got a standard 20 millimeter lug width, lug tip to lug tip of just under 47 millimeters, and we do have slightly protruding end links, and they bring the total length to 49.1 millimeters. Sized up for my 7.5 inch wrist with 2 links removed, it weighs 138 grams. So right off the bat, we have some differences between this and the Bradner. The Bradner is a pretty chunky watch. It's also a real compressor style of watch, so there's quite a bit of thickness in between the crystal and the dial. And you know, I believe that one was like 13 or almost 14 millimeters thick. So this one is just over 12.5 millimeters thick and 40 millimeters in diameter. The Bradner is 42. So this is a little bit of a slimmer, and it's going to be a smaller wearing with the similar look watch. So I do like the way that this watch wears. It's got a nice big crystal in it, so the dial presence, you know, kind of makes it feel a little bit bigger than it is. But I mean, you know, you got nice curve down to the lugs here as well. So I am pretty happy with the way the watch wears. It does feel a little top heavy just because of the really tiny clasp, but other than that, I like the way it wears, so I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. Hey, here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist, and I can definitely pull this off. It's a little bit big just because of the dial, or the crystal is really big, but I do think it looks really good. There's nice texture on the dial. Obviously, all the finishing is done to a very high standard for the price point. The clasp feels a little bit small for this watch, but it still feels pretty balanced on wrist. You can see curvature of the case hugs my wrist nicely. The crystal doing a really good job. It's mineral crystal, so yeah, I kind of figured it would be a good one, but yeah, it does look very nice. Let's go throw it on some straps though. And here we are on a hemsuit leather strap, a really chunky leather strap. I think it looks great, and it's probably perfect for this kind of desk diver look, even though it's not a real diver. So yeah, I do like the look of this one. Next up, we have a cut to size FKM with a little bit of texture to it. Dark green. I think it looks great on a black dive watch. Yeah, looks good. Link will be down below for these. And next up, here we are on a single pass nylon strap. This is from CNS Watch Bands. 1 layer underneath the watch there, still sitting very nice and low to the wrist. No issues, no strap clearance issues either. So yeah, happy with this one. We got one last one to go on. And last but not least, here we are on another CNS Watch Bands, 2 layers underneath the watch there, as you can see. Still sitting very nice. This is the mustard yellow. Looks pretty darn good on this one, in my opinion. Alright, let's go back inside and let's get back to this review. Alright, so let's talk about case finishing. So case finishing, Cadisen I think has always been very good with their case finishing. This is no exception. We have a vertical brushing on the tops of the lugs there. We have a circular brushing around the bezel. There's no polishing that I can see on the case itself. Very nicely done. I've seen no real issues with that at all. Very crisp corners, nothing really sharp. This bottom edge right here got a little bit of a sharpness to it, but it stays off the wrist, so it's not really an issue. 6.5 millimeter signed screw down crown with the Cadisen logo there. Really no complaints with that. It's a nice crown. It's kind of got a little extra decoration on it. Obviously, the Bradner from Spinnaker is it's a compressor style of watch, so it does have the dual crown, so just a single crown here. And I mean, it's done very nicely. I don't see any real issues on this at all. Flipping it over to the case back, mixture of brushing and polishing here, a little bit of a spec sheet around the outside in that polished area, simple notches for your tool there. Again, just not a whole lot to complain about. Nice and smooth back here, didn't irritate my wrist at all. So yeah, I'm really happy with the case finishing on this. It is just really nicely done. I mean, very nice and consistent brushing on the watch. There's no mixture of finishing, so it's not too difficult to do that on a watch like this, but just the sheen, the luster, the smoothness of the case, really exceptional for the price, in my opinion. All right, so talking about the crystal here, it's a really big crystal, but it is just mineral. So, mineral, it'll scratch easier than sapphire, but it is much clearer than sapphire is. So, they kind of both have their pluses and minuses. You're going to get some scratches on this one, sadly, and they put a bunch of blue anti-reflective coating on this as well, so that could turn off a few people. It doesn't bother me too much. The fact that it is a very nice, box dome mineral crystal, you can see there, it's a bonus to me. I think they did a pretty good job on this one. A sapphire crystal at a similar price wouldn't be as nice. So this definitely has a more premium look than it would with an okay sapphire crystal. So just something to consider. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Nice distortion on the edges, everything else. Yeah, I'm a fan of it. I don't like the fact that it's mineral, but I understand why they did that. A sapphire crystal this size and this shape would cost a lot of money. All right, so let's get to the dial on the watch. And I'm going to come out and say, you guys probably already missed the fact that I didn't have a bezel section on this watch, and that's because this does not have a rotating bezel. Very odd choice. Obviously, the Bradner had an internal rotating bezel. This one doesn't rotate. The bezel here, it's fixed in place, so it doesn't rotate. You cannot move this outer track here. Really interesting. I don't know why they did that. And then that brings up a design issue in my opinion. That's that we have these double numbers, 10, 10, 20, 20, 30, 30, all the way around. So a really interesting choice. Not really sure why they felt the need to do that. They could have done this same setup with a different dial and just kind of changed this outer track to make it like an actual minute track. And yeah, I mean, it just kind of looks like it should be an internal rotating bezel, and it's not. So yeah, just really an odd decision. The sad thing is they did a really good job with it. I mean, it looks very nice. You can see it's kind of this matte, smooth finish on the outside with these raised, minute markers there. Everything is loomed. The dial itself, very nicely textured. You got the Cadisen logo there with automatic 100 meters below the pinion. Applied indices at all the hour markers except 3 o'clock, which has got a very nicely chamfered and framed date window there. I mean, they just did a good job. They did a really good job executing this, and then they just kind of fell flat without having a rotating bezel. Really odd decision. Again, I think it looks very good, and in my unboxing that I did of this watch, I mentioned the rehaut depth, or the depth between the dial and the crystal, is very, very shallow. I mean, it looks incredible. Coupled with the fact that it is a mineral crystal, just makes the dial kind of pop out at you. Only a very few set number of watches give me that feeling. This is definitely the cheapest one, and yeah, I mean, because of that, it does look very nice. Getting up real close here, you can see that texture and just the finishing on the hands. The handset, again, ripped pretty much straight from the Bradner. I think they look pretty good. They're a good length. You got that kind of pop of red there on the Lollipop seconds hand. But I mean, it's just done nicely, just without a whole lot of thought put into it. It's just kind of an odd decision, in my opinion. Not really sure what they were thinking, but I got to say, if you're just kind of going for the look, this thing, in my opinion, looks better than the Bradner does. So yeah, I think it looks really nice. The lume on the watch, Really interesting. It's a mixed bag for me. It's a mixed Lume color for me as well. So I'm going to pop up a Lume shot in here. You can see it against a couple other watches in the collection. It's not horrible, but it's not great either. I put it at a solid, like, 4.5, 5 out of 10. Yeah, it's just not the best Lume on the watch. All right, so let's talk about the movement inside. So the movement is the Miyota 8215 automatic movement. So 21,600 beats per hour, roughly 40 hours of power reserve. This one does hack, so this is a newer batch of the 8215, so this one does hack. The hand wind, they're super accurate, super reliable, robust. They've been around for a very long time, and I think you're going to be able to get this movement and find replacement parts for it for a very long time. So I've got no complaints with the movement. It does have a single directional winding rotor. I haven't noticed it too much in this watch. I do hear it from time to time, but it's not bad. So yeah, that's really my only complaint, is just you get that rotor spinning around and you can hear it on the wrist from time to time. But other than that, it's been great for me. Here's how this one has been running. Cannot complain with that number either. Really happy with the accuracy on this particular model. The screw in and screw out action, really nice and smooth. You get a nice satisfying pop out as well. First position is your hand winding. Again, feels very nice and smooth. Second position is your date. Nice and easy. Everything seems to be aligned nicely as well. Pull it out to the third position and it hacks the movement, as you can see there. The alignment, spot on. So yeah, really no issues with it. It feels like a nice solid crown. It doesn't wobble around too much. You push it in, starts up the movement every single time, and then the screw in action, really nice and just buttery smooth on this watch. So really happy with that. All right, so let's talk about the bracelet on the watch. So the bracelet is a beads of rice style of bracelet. You can see here we have solid links, solid end links, female pivoting end links as well. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty decent bracelet. You can see the tolerances here. They're okay. They're not the best. They're not the worst. I have another bracelet very similar from San Martin, and this feels a little bit cheaper than that one does, but it's really not bad. You have push pins for sizing. I removed, I believe, one link for my 7.5-inch wrist. I will flip this over. You can see the back here. So this does look on first inspection like each bead is an individual link, but sadly they are not. They're just one solid piece that's kind of mimicked to look like that. So a little bit disappointing there, but honestly, they look pretty darn good. You can see the finishing here, brushing on the outer links, polished beads. They look really nicely done. So I don't have too much to complain about. It could be done a little bit better, and that's kind of where they're cutting corners to save costs. So I don't blame them at all. Comfort wise, it's fine. So getting to the clasp here, really small clasp, 3 levels of micro adjust, which I'm not a fan of. The finishing on the clasp, you can see, I'm hoping you can see at least, it just almost looks like a different material to me. So maybe this is like a lower grade of steel than the bracelet is. It just kind of looks more brownish color to it. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this clasp. Again, it's really small, really lightweight, kind of does not balance or match the watch head at all. The finishing on it is also pretty rough looking, as you can see there, the brushing. So yeah, I'm not super impressed with this. There's no real sharp edges on it, so that's fine. But it does not close. You can see here, I'm pressing it as hard as I can. So it doesn't close all that good. It opens up fine, but the closing, I've been just pushing in the pushers and then latching it closed. So yeah, the closing mechanism not working great. You can see the inside here fully milled. The tolerances seem fine as well. So it's not horrible, but they could definitely improve this a little bit. You don't have any on the fly adjustability or anything like that. It's just simple 3 levels of micro adjust there. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. Yeah, I mean, the bracelet itself, I think, is actually pretty darn good. The end links, they follow the case curvature. They do stick out a little bit here, as you can see, so it does extend it out a millimeter or so on each side. Other than that, though, there's not a whole lot to complain about with the bracelet itself. Just the clasp. They need to put a bigger clasp on this watch, in my opinion. That's really my only complaint about it. So there you go, guys. That is the Cadisen C8244. It's a spinnaker bradner homage without the features, also without the chunkiness and the size of it too. So, and without, I'd say, half of the cost of the spinnaker. So, yeah, it's an interesting watch. I'm not really sure why they did the things that they did. I would like to see a rotating bezel on this watch. But you know, the way that they did this, if you're looking for just a desk dive or something that looks good, kind of looks like the Bradner, you're wanting to save some money, maybe get something in a smaller size, this could be an option for you. So I wouldn't completely write this watch off. It does bring something to the table that the spinnaker does not bring, and that's, you know, a very slender, nice looking case. And then obviously the price is about half or more than half off of the Bradner. So yeah, just something to consider. It's an interesting watch from Spinnaker. I'm not sure why they did some of the things they did. Obviously we're all going to complain probably about not having a sapphire, especially at this price point. But I gotta say, the mineral crystal looks fantastic. But yeah, the watch in general is actually really nicely done, really nicely executed. They just missed here and there. Whether that's going to bother you, I'll leave that up to you guys. But if you want to pick this one up, again, leave a link down in the video description. Go check that one out. I think that's it for me. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.